It's no different than swimming in the swimming pool.
No, not really.
It's very less. Hey, Mike. I have. So Mark called. He's got somebody interested in the wetland project. And so this is what they're offering, the square foot of this thing. He wants to jump on it right away. Can we have this? If we don't,
Oh, what if I don't want to be in the picture?
he just wants to be able to have somebody to be able to negotiate. He doesn't even know if they're willing to buy. We just would like to be able to have some parameters. Okay. Did you read my report? No. My staff report?
What does that come on?
Yeah, this one. It's a lot.
Read what it says.
Oh, yeah,
No, did you
the-
see in the packet?
It just said like you would,
Says that, what did you do? I said a lot.
and you said you'll
Provide you with a
provide
list,
copies.
yes.
You told me that earlier.
I'm glad you're doing a lot. Thank you.
Okay, at 6:30, we'll call the Monday, July 25th, regular city council meeting to order. If we could start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, do we have any additions to the agenda tonight?
Mr. Mayor, I have one addition. I received an email today from Mark Jellag about the wetland project, so I'd like to talk about that a little bit if I could.
All right. I'll look for a motion to approve the agenda with the one addition at 6A4, the wetlands project.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion, a second. All in favor, say aye.
I,
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. That will take us to public comments. If there's anyone who would like to discuss anything that is not on the agenda, please come forward. Seeing none, we'll close public comments. We'll move to consent agenda. Is there anything on the consent agenda that needs to be pulled for further discussion? Hearing none, I'll look for a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
motion,
We have a motion from Melender. Do we have a second?
second.
A motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
I,
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. And with that, Luann, we can jump right into 6A1, the award of contracted construction of the park shelter and restrooms.
Mr. Mayor, council members, on Tuesday, July 20th at 2 p.m., bids were open for the park shelter project for the mayor for Old Schoolhouse Park. Staff is recommending that the city council award the project to Project One Construction in the amount of $458,000. Council and Park Board have been planning this pavilion and park shelter for many years, for several years. And the city does have the funds for this project in the Park Improvement Fund. I provided you with the documentation for that of $515,098.86. And also you levied $50,000 last year on your levy. So you do have the funds to do the project. The completion date didn't change. It's May 1st, 2023. So with that, I would ask for council decision or approval of the contract.
Thank you. Any questions or anything for Luann at this time?
So the 50,000 is included in that total of 515, right?
No, I don't think it is. Because, and why I say that, Peggy, is because we just received our tax settlement, and you would have gotten part of that tax settlement hasn't been coded into the Banyan system yet.
Okay.
Okay, so I would say there's an additional 50 that should go into there. And if I'm wrong, I'll let you know, but I'm pretty sure that that's correct.
For 2022 budget. It was budgeted for 2022.
Right, and we just got like I said, we just got the tax settlement from the county. We're waiting on Abdo to code it so that we can code it to the proper funds. And then once that's done, it'll be reflected in that fund balance sheet that I give you. And I just,
All right. Any other questions? Hearing none, then I'll look for a motion to award the construction for the park shelter and restrooms to Project One Construction for $458,000.
I'll make that motion.
A second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
I'm just excited that this finally could possibly be moving forward after years and years of back and forth. And so I'm excited.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of work's gone into it. I think we've heard enough from the community. The community is really looking forward to this. Do we have an idea now that this is, assuming this come in a little higher than what we had hoped? Do we have a pretty good idea now what that's going to do for the splash pad? As far as time, is that going to put us back a couple years, or do we have a handle on that?
Mayor, I'm not aware of what the costs of a splash pad are. I did email Cologne, the city of Cologne, because they do have a splash pad. And I just did it today, just remembered to do it today. And they didn't return the email yet, but I asked them what year they built it, what the total construction cost was, and what their operating expenses are with it. So I'm hoping to have that by the next park board meeting, and we're going to be meeting on the 10th of August. So then we should know by then what that splash pad will be. Some more information, so.
But I don't think it came in much higher than we thought it was gonna, did it?
Park
don't-
out there?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. I wasn't at a lot of the meetings. I thought they kind of scaled it down to get around the 250, 300, 350-ish. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
Kyle, do you remember?
Kyle or Mike, if one of you two want to come up to the podium. Well, or both.
like,
Andy, do you want?
yeah, Andy wants to talk about it.
So yeah, what original plans, I think we tried to dwindle it back to around the $300,000 mark.
We were hoping to, yeah.
And so we, changed the roof lines, changed structure of it and everything, made the bathrooms a little smaller, not as, went to the single bathrooms versus the male and the female bathrooms. So square footage wise, the building is a little bit bigger than the old,
In the original plan.
the original
Yes.
plan. And we also improved the size of the mechanical room to account for the future splash pad. So all the mechanics and everything can go in the mechanical room.
Yeah, otherwise
For
we
the
would
splash
have
pad.
to build another shelter or another structure to house the mechanics of the splash pad. And this way it can be incorporated in one. We don't have these things dotted all over the park, right? So,
So kind of clean it up. And then once the splash pad, it'll all kind of be one unit.
And
Go ahead.
Kyle, do you have any rough numbers that had been looked at, or Mike, for a splash pad? Was there some rough estimate?
Parkboard behind us. So was it 200,000,
250.
250,000
250,
for
250 is
use?
ringing a bell.
yeah,
Okay.
and that's kind of what we had heard from other numbers that, Maggie had prior,
It depends on the size, the type of equipment. I mean, the bigger pieces of equipment
Yeah.
are more, and the bigger, so. But yeah, right around 250,000 is all that's ringing.
But a lot of the
So,
plumbing should be piped under the building already to access. So all they have to do is run their piping out straight out from
So
the,
this will kind of save that step. So yeah, we'll have piping roughed in, like Mike's saying, and then also the sewer and everything will also be sized, and the water will also be sized for the splash pad.
is the electrical on here? I believe the
Yep.
electrical was on here, upsize the electrical going to that building to handle the electrical capacity. So that was also part of this.
So we don't have to pay to retrofit it later.
Right.
Yeah.
We're doing everything now to prep for the splash.
Thinking down the road a little bit.
I like
Trying
it.
As much as we can.
Mhm.
Like it.
So when that's constructed and then you decide to do so many amenities, let's just pick a number, let's say 10 amenities, but you can only afford to do 5. Can you do that with them or can you not?
I would say it's a
From
possibility.
what we had gathered before, yes, they're interchangeable or adding. Because they could put just a standard water jet coming up
Okay,
and then add a structure. That's how we understood it anyway, add a structure later.
so it could be a multi-year project that you could do too.
Right, we could add as we go. So
And can we do any public funding for that? Like, can we accept donations? If there's anything,
You can accept donations, certainly. I know that Mike had mentioned that when the city celebration, people were willing to donate to it then, but maybe you just want to wait until you get it constructed
Yeah.
before you, so that you have it done. Or maybe they donate and it goes towards operating expenses or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just heard, right, good feedback from the festival and, right, something, so just to put it out there as an option.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
No different than we do accept donations any other time, through
Mhm.
resolution, so.
Kyle, what's the schedule for demolishing the existing building?
Soon.
I assumed that.
Actually, I believe the contractor who's tearing down the building is also the contractor for this project, I believe.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
Kinda,
Oh, okay.
oh,
it all,
For the site work, yep.
so.
anything else?
And this is just this isn't additional picnic tables, garbage can. We still need all that, or have we?
We need that, and
still
so,
using some of the remainder from the fund
Ken,
for those things?
we figured picnic tables are about $1,200 a piece, and if we need 10, it's about 12,000. Then some garbage cans, we thought right around $20,000 additional for the amenities.
Okay. Any other questions, comments, discussion?
So we'll have a balance in the park fund, right? The park improvement fund?
Yes.
About $87,000. That's including the 50,000 that goes in this year, minus the 458, minus 20,000 roughly for picnic tables and garbage cans should give us a balance of about 87,000 in the park board fund based on Luann's numbers, assuming the 50,000 is not yet in there.
And you're only gonna see this increase by 25 next time. Because we got half the tax settlement. Now we'll get the other half in December, and then it'll increase by up to the 50.
So 25 is in there.
No, there's nothing in there. No, it should
Oh, in
increase by
December.
25 by, the August sheet you should see an increase. August or September, you should see that $25,000.
So, but at the end of the year, then Larry, we should still have 87,000 in the park board fund.
So can we use any of the American Recovery Plan Act funds?
I don't know the answer to that. I'm not familiar with that at all. And how much of that did you give to the county? Because we just got another $123,000 from them. What was given to the county?
I don't think anything. did.
Nothing. The county, I think, pays us or the,
I thought you gave money to the county for economic development because you didn't have a grant program.
The first round.
The
of
first
money,
round we did.
first we did this
But
later.
the second you didn't. And that was a question I needed to ask you, was to find out if you had. So,
Because
you
we
know,
have to like 2024.
but you're like, your
to
new
allocate
administrator
it.
has some ideas about some grant programs too, that they use some of theirs for. So for the EDA, so yeah, I don't know if you can or not. I can check into that, Peggy, and find out. I'm not that familiar with the program, or Larry. I'm sorry. She's asking all the questions. I can't help it. I just didn't come far enough down the table. I can find out.
Great
and let
question,
you
though.
know. I will do that.
Okay.
If it can be used for this.
The park board has been saving money for this for years and years and years. And it didn't pass the previous time because the bids came up, and the park board was they understood that and also had chose not to move forward with the project at the time. Unfortunately, the cost of materials have gone up significantly due to supply chain and stuff like that. So for me, this project is a long time coming, and yes, it does take up a good chunk of this money, but we've been sitting on this money and adding to it for years. Think this is a really important project for the development of this park for that splash pad. So that's where I'm at on it. I think it's super, we can't help the cost where it is, and who knows if it's gonna ever go back down. It probably will only go up.
Never gonna get cheaper.
Nikki, you said splash pad, you meant park shelter?
I was just saying, like, we're doing this, we're retrofitting it
Yeah,
for
oh yeah,
a
yeah, okay.
future splash pad. We have to do this first before we can even do a splash pad. So if we want a splash pad, we have to do this first.
Unless you can use your ARPA funds for it, then maybe you can.
Yeah, and I think our new administrator would be able to have some really unique ways too that I think that could be really exciting and different for different projects.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. I will, all in favor, say aye.
I
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0.
Yay!
Thank you, and thank you for all your work.
I mean, this
for the
deserves a
entire
round of
park
applause.
board. All right, with that,
We'll need a ribbon cutting or something. Like, this is like a big deal.
let's move to 6A2, discussion and,
This is my third time around. It must have been meant
Yeah.
to be.
right? Discussion of sale of the old fire station.
Yep. Mr. Mayor, council members, the city has been approached by two separate parties that are interested in the fire station, 400 Ash Avenue North. The interested parties have presented information to the June and July EDA meetings. We haven't had August yet. And one of the parties did present the city with an earnest money check, plus I have a purchase agreement also in the drawer for the property from another party. I attached the presentation from one of the interested parties. The EDA has recommended the city council to consider the two potential offers. They cited the sale would assist in expanding the tax base of the city. So staff's requesting discussion from the city council on, do you want to sell it? Do you not want to sell it? What do you want to do?
And this went to the EDA, you said?
Yep, and they're
What was EDA's recommendation?
for the city to consider the two potential offers. That they see it, they would like to see you sell it, I believe. Yep.
Well, I would say, I mean, I think that the discussion was a good possibility for selling it if it was a right offer for value. I think that since it's the city council's, like for me, my recommendation was for it to have a full council discussion. Do we want to sell it? What are we using it for now? Making sure we're not making a rash decision. Just that my personal thought on it was, let's talk about it. What are we using it for now? What are potentials for it? I think it has to be rezoned because right now it's public and institutional.
And the comp plan amendment.
So it would have to also align with, I think, downtown things. And then my biggest concern is it's kind of like a good location in front of a residential area. So making sure, what is it going to look like? What is it going to be? I know that, downtown does have the different ordinances, or I don't know what the words are for.
Well, so the zoning code is set out, and so because it's downtown commercial, then there's different parameters that have to meet. Downtown commercial has to meet compared to commercial or industrial.
Right.
So those are the parameters that would have to meet, would be the downtown commercial standard.
Right. And an interested party, I think, had reached out originally to Maggie because they did a similar project in Waconia. That's the cave, they called it, if you saw in the packet. So they came and addressed that. You talked with Tim, the city attorney. You can sell it without actually putting it for sale. The county did give a bid, and then some other people had found out there was a potential we could sell it and wanted to put their name in the hat. So, there's that question too, is do we want to,
I think the email that Luann sent out a couple weeks ago, maybe a month, because time flies when you're having fun, was we had gone to get an estimate from the tax assessment Carver County. They suggested getting with a local real estate agent. Did we do that?
No, I haven't, because I don't know. Do you want to sell it or do you
Yeah,
not want to sell
the
it?
question is,
Okay.
that was the
That's-
discussion.
Well, I
that's
just-
where- Yeah, no, I didn't do it yet,
No,
Peggy.
no, that's fine. I was just curious how we could have a purchase agreement.
Well, somebody's that interested.
What's an offer?
They put an offer in. They gave me an offer, so what do I do? Tell them, no, I don't want it? I said,
Well, I don't know if it's not for sale, I guess.
well, I don't know, is it? I mean.
So that was the
Well, that's what
discussion we
That's what we're
That's what you
discussing.
gotta
That's what our
discuss.
discussion
You gotta
tonight is.
decide.
We're not gonna look at any bids yet. We'll have to do that in a closed meeting
Right.
or closed session at next council. So now, are we gonna sell it, lease it,
I mean, the
keep it,
right.
do whatever? And
I mean, the EDA is economic development. So I mean, we, as a, or committee, you want to grow your commercial businesses. But then I just look at, where our city deputies there right now, where would they go? Back to the new fire station or back here, where did they go? I know Kyle, I think they've talked to you because you're keeping off-season equipment in there. And I know we are discussing about expanding Public Works, but that's not done yet. Do you have a home for all those pieces of equipment? If we sold it and it was sold in a month. Those are my questions I had and just
Hope
things.
rent's high, Andy.
There's some empty shipping containers out there.
So, yeah.
But at one time, we all agreed that we would wait 1 year.
No, I thought we were waiting on looking at solar for the new one and we're gonna try to get, that was what I don't remember waiting on this.
Because
I think in my opinion, if we have interest in it, we should be selling it. We need business in
If the
town. If
price
this
is right,
brings
yep.
business to town, I think we should be looking at all offers.
Yep.
And maybe in the next 2 weeks, if that's what's decided, we do get a realtor, and maybe have hire one, and maybe have a realtor come into our closed session to help kind of look at the offers and make sure they're kind of,
Don't we?
But-
City attorney can handle that, right?
No, I don't think you want him, it would be an appraisal, so you're gonna want to hire a realtor
the
to do an
attorney
appraisal.
won't have an idea of.
Separate appraisal, I mean, instead of paying a realtor as well?
Well, the realtors do appraisals. So you don't pay you don't pay the realtor fee, you pay an appraisal fee.
Okay.
That's
We
what
have
you pay.
offers and interest. I don't know. I think we can figure out, to this point, we should be able to.
Well, I mean, we can figure it out, but let's have the discussion now. Like, where is the stuff going to go? I mean, I get selling it the second, but we made a decision on the creamery. I know this is completely kind of separate, but now it's an eyesore and it's a piece of crap. And what do you do with it? And we owned it and we just gave it away. Now, this is a little bit of a different scenario, but you sell it to a private party. Now that was the one concern of the EDA is like, what's going in there? What is it going to look like? Is it going to actually be businesses that we would want? Okay, so somebody buys it 5 years later, they sell it, and now it's something completely different. I mean, yes, that is
Some of that
all
the risk you
commercial,
take.
the risk you take.
control, that can
No,
happen
I
any
understand. I'm
time,
just
but-
throwing out all scenarios. I'm not against selling it. I'm just, what's the right decision?
Do we have
And-
space, Kyle?
Well, one of the people that are interested in buying, I guess that maybe becomes part of the negotiation, is that you keep one or two of the bays to store your stuff until you get your public works building
I thought
expanded.
at the EDA meeting I was at, I
Yes,
thought.
that
one
was
party had
discussed.
Said we could do,
Yes.
they'd be willing to do that. If you have something, you can come up if you don't mind, introducing yourself for the record.
We did the renovation of the building in Waconia. So I think all of you have seen the presentation or not yet. Okay. So yeah, so we are completely an open book. We want to actually present to you guys what you'd like to see in there. I know some of you saw what we did at the cave. So we're kind of in the business of my business is construction. So we're in the business of renovating old buildings, getting the city back involved, allowing people to come, get some rent back into the city. That's what we did to the building in Waconia. So we're very open to what goes in there. We'd love to talk to you guys and figure it out. If we do need some space for an ambulance or something like that, we're completely open to all that. So just wanted to kind of say that, introduce myself, and that's everything. If you have any more questions, let me know.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm Eric Vogel, I'm a resident on 4th Street here. And so, yeah, I'm very excited to the opportunity for, an additional business to be brought into town. It's great to see the fire station, like it'd be I think a horrible thing to see it sit empty for a bunch of years, but I do think that the fact that it needs to be rezoned and that it hasn't been listed for sale, I mean, this is the city's one opportunity to really have an opinion of what, or the council, I guess, have an opinion of what was going to go in there. There's a lot of control that you guys will have, or leverage that the council would have in having to rezone and the comp plan amendment as well. And so, and then also just the fact that it hasn't been listed. I mean, nothing against your guys' business, but I mean, I just think it'd be in the city's best interest to be able to reach a broader audience before making a decision in terms of a sale just off of who happens to be in the area. Although also maybe that's a good thing, you know, with the local people who are interested versus somebody coming from out of town that might not have as much invested in the community. But I don't know, I just kind of wanted to throw that out there.
Thank you. Any other thoughts?
I think one of the other parties was also lenient in that fact too, of us continuing to use it.
Because we can say we'd be interested in selling it, then go into a closed session to look at the offers and getting an appraisal, correct? And in the end, we can still say no.
Yes,
Yes,
that is true.
that's true. I just need to know what you want me to do.
I think we should be looking at them if we have offers.
Agreed.
And not,
Yep.
you know,
Definitely get a look.
I agree with the comment that, you know, others might not know it's for sale, but it's been in the paper. People know there's a building there. If people are interested, they have every right to. Like 2 people have already done it out of the blue, so, or 3.
I have another one. The other thing is that you're gonna save the 6% or whatever you get, you're gonna save the sellers, the realtor fee on it,
Yep.
which could be a lot of money too. And you might not get that much more additional than what your offers already are.
Right.
I mean, that's a consideration you'll have to take once you look at them and then decide maybe you want
And from what
to
I've heard,
list it.
again, just at the one EDA that they kind of wanted to work with the city on kind of seeing what they would want. And that sounds like we would maybe have some input. If we do rezone it, someone comes in and buys it and it's all zoned properly, everything, they can do what they want with it. We wouldn't really have any input. So I think there's a chance now to have a little input on what we might want to see. I don't know. I think we need to look at it at the next meeting, look at all offers and then make some decisions then too. And in the meantime, we can look at what we would do with things, or if we rent out a couple of the bays to keep them.
That's what I would want to have at the next meeting if we were at a closed session, but have a discussion ahead of the closed session about what, you know, Kyle, do we have a solution if the building's sold this year? What are we doing with that equipment? You know, where is it going to go? Have a contingency plan. What possibly could it be to rent the space until we know what's going on with a new public works building?
Do we have to, what does the sheriff department have in there? I know they were using that
Just
for
the office.
evidence and some of that kind
Yeah.
of stuff.
They're just set up in the office, a phone, a cabinet and. a
Okay,
desk,
so
and
not-
Yeah, they're just in the
okay.
office, yep.
Where's the ambulance at then?
Not here.
Not here yet.
Where were they? Because they were going to use the old fire station.
There was a brief discussion about it, and I think they had sent you an email recently too about bringing that conversation up.
They were open to the old or the new fire station, weren't they?
And I think we have I mean, Mayor has a ton of storage. The boat people must be empty now. We could probably store both public work stuff in there, plows, you know, there's storage in Mayor. I mean,
Do the plows have to be stored inside?
Not necessarily.
They could go to the wastewater plant if they can be outdoor storage.
Some stuff outside. We try to get big.
Inside, which you can't, if you've got the room inside, you put it inside.
But pick up for 2 minutes.
any other, do you need a motion or anything, Luann,
Well,
to
I think it
move
sounds
forward, or
like
should
you
we
want to
just take
sell
our
it.
bids? Yeah, I say
But
we look at,
if you want me to get an appraisal, I would like a motion to authorize me to be able to hire a real estate agent to get us an appraisal on the property before the 8th, if that's what you want.
I would like to go into it knowing what the value of it is, so I
Agreed.
could
Yeah,
understand
Absolutely.
the bids that have come in.
How much does it cost to rezone it?
I don't know the answer to that. I don't know that it's going to be that much. It's going to be a planning commission meeting. It's going to be a notice to the paper, a public notice, a few $100s probably is all.
that's not much
No.
for that. There's no
And the comp plan amendment's just a letter, I think, to Met Council, Maybe update maps. Which we've
So-
done it before.
I'll look for a motion to.
I got a few comments if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
First of all, I guess, yeah, question is what were we gonna do with sheriff's office and housing them? You know, right now they're in over there, using the, office. We originally, when they came, you know, we looked at, you know, having them at the news station, but we would have to share an office and stuff like that. So when we had that open, they were, very happy with that. That way they had their own office and stuff like that. Other thing, you know, Ridgeview has been asking multiple times, wanting to locate an ambulance here in town. When I approached them, you know, they, you know, first originally, well, can you get home? We've got room in the bays for their truck, but we don't have kind of a day room for them to kind of stay, which we originally had in the plans, in the first plan of the new fire station, but being we had to cut money and stuff like that, that kind of day room got taken out. So we don't have a real good spot for them to hang out while they're sitting waiting for calls. Other things to think about, I guess, would be if you do sell it, my question is, where is that money going to go to? That fire station originally was built and paid for by the Mayor Fire Relief Association. Bought the whole building, paid for it with no cost to the city when it was originally built. The other thing, you know, our Relief Association also stuck in $132,000 into the news station for some of this stuff. All that money was raised from firemen donating their time to do fundraisers and stuff like that to raise that money. So my question is, where's that money going to go? Is it going to go either back to the Relief Association or back to the fire department CIP fund and stuff?
We'll have to discuss that. We haven't had any discussions, but obviously we're going to have to talk about that once we get the money. I mean, or if it sells. But the things to keep in mind when we get there.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't even had those discussions. Anything more?
Nope.
All right, then I will look for a motion to authorize the administrator to reach out to a local realtor to help with appraising the building. And if necessary, maybe have that person be at our closed session, Luann, to answer questions.
Okay.
I'll look for that motion.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion, and a second. Any further discussion?
You realize that an appraisal is probably going to be $2,000-$3,000, just so you know, okay?
That's what I was gonna say. Do we have to give her a?
I have authority up to 5,
Okay.
so I'm okay.
So the plan is we're gonna get the appraisal to find out what the worth is, but then we'll be able to answer all the questions that, like the chief brought up, and
I don't think we have to answer them immediately.
We'll have
We
to
just-
answer those questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. we're
Right.
gonna have to.
We'll
we just
have
wanna
the
know what the value of
funds.
the building is right
Right.
now.
And then look at the bids.
Yeah.
Right.
If we don't sell it, we don't need to have that conversation yet.
Right.
But yeah, we got to figure out what we're going to do.
But if we decide to sell it, would we open it up for sale or just take the 2 bids that we have, or?
Well, it depends on
That's
what the
you're
bids
gonna have
are.
to
What the
decide.
bids are. Yeah.
If the
Just see what
bids are
bids
low, then we'll open it up for sale. Or counter offer,
Right.
Or decide we're not selling it.
or decide we're not selling.
But I think you need more information.
Yeah.
Yes,
And I think that's what you're asking for, is more information,
Yes.
so you can make it, you
Appraisal.
can make a good,
something.
so
to
you can make
base
a
it-
good decision.
Right, something to base our,
Contingency plans of what is currently in that building and where is it gonna go are things that I would need to understand to make a good,
And the sheriff's department was in here before. I mean,
Right.
they can come back here if that's going to
I
be an
thought there
issue.
was some concern with the information that was there. That's why they liked being in that versus in the new station being there. They could do interviews, they could have different evidence because it's locked, it's secure, right? So it was different than them being here or them being in the new fire station. That was part of that
Right.
as well.
Yeah, so I would try to look into where could they
Can't we set 'em up
go?
At the wastewater treatment facility? There's no room out there?
All options would be on the table, yeah. I mean, we'll look at it. We'll look at it. So I think maybe we should schedule a Public Works meeting and maybe Personnel Committee if we.
Yeah,
feel
you know, that would be a
personnel
good
committee is needed.
idea to add it to Public Works building. Put an office specifically in for the sheriff. If we're adding on
I
anyway.
mean, I like different options.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
You want to
Yeah,
schedule a
let's
person,
schedule a Public Works for sure, a Personnel Committee meeting, maybe.
what's the personnel for?
You think we should?
I would do public works because then you can look at,
Personnel, I was just looking at more the sheriff and,
Okay.
and Ridgeview, but maybe that
Contracts.
can be done on maybe that can be done
Okay.
in Public Works.
Let me think about it.
Yeah. All right, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-1. So we'll look at bids, we'll look at what the plans are with the building that each have, and we'll see what happens in 2 weeks. Thank you. With that, then we can move to 6A3, request additional hours for the interim administrator.
So, Mr. Mayor, council members, currently you have an agreement with me for 20 to 24 hours a week, and I'm finding that additional hours could be used in order to complete and conduct business needed for the city. They need to complete the budget, activities, EDA, and other issues they arise. Staff's finding it difficult to complete the work in the 20 to 24. So I'm requesting an additional 4 hours a week. I mean, I probably won't have to use them. I got the budget done today. Now I just need to work through some of that. But Janelle is going to be gone on vacation. She's got election stuff she's going to be gone for training and, you know, the primary and some other things. So unless you just want me not to do this, that's fine with me, but it's up to you. It's your decision.
And how many more hours are you
I'm just
requesting?
asking for 4
4 more?
or a week.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I personally think
Yep.
we need it. I think we're getting value for our dollar. We're getting things done. We're not filling a chair like maybe has happened in the past. And yeah, so I feel we should. I'll look for a motion to extend the administrator's hours by 4 hours on a weekly basis.
So moved.
Second,
We have a motion, a second, any further discussion?
So we haven't talked about an offer to the other administrator.
Right.
So is this 4 hours going from 24 to 28 hours only through, are you here?
September.
September?
Right,
And then,
Yeah, we have a contract in place right now
right, with me.
through a certain date.
Yep.
And then we will discuss in our reports, we'll talk quickly about what's going on with the new, and that will change, that's gonna change.
Change,
things.
right.
okay, so this is just increasing and for like the next
September,
current
till
contract.
September.
5 weeks or
The
something.
current-
Correct.
yep.
And you know what, if I don't need them, I'm not gonna use them, just so you know.
Right.
But I can't get done, what I used to get done in 60 hours in 24, it doesn't work. And that's what I'm trying to do, so.
well, we're just, I'm thankful for all the work you've been doing to keep things moving.
I'm thankful to be here too, thank you.
Agreed. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. 6A4, the Wetlands Project.
Mr. Mayor, council members, if you recall when Mark Jelliga was here, I don't even know if I'm saying his name right, but when he was here the last time and he talked about, he will get offers or we'll get offers on the wetland project that we have. He sent me an email today. He's got a request for some of the wetland credits. Part of the problem becomes that the people want to buy it right away. They don't want to wait till city council can deal with it. So if you want to give him a range and then he can negotiate it, or if you want to set up a committee to negotiate it. I don't know, you know, the mayor brought up a good point is how much money do we want to get out of it? And maybe we need to go back and do a cost benefit analysis to that before we even jump on anything. But he would think that a possible range would be $2.65 to $3.25 per square foot, or that comes out to $115,434 to $141,570 an acre.
Yeah, And I'm fine either way. If we want to get a committee, but
Or
to
if
your point, I think we need to find out
Some more
exactly how much
information.
we've spent.
Yep.
Where's our break even and how
Yep.
much do we need to get per acre just to break even?
Yep.
Agreed.
And then we need some basis to
Yep.
go off of, and
Right.
then hopefully we can,
Offers.
make
Right.
a little money off the project also.
So then if I come forward with that information for you, then do you want me to request that a committee be set up of maybe 2 council members to be able to negotiate with him?
I think it might be time to set up a wetland committee.
Or Public Works
you
does
know,
it?
Yeah,
Maybe, I don't
or,
know.
or Public Works, yeah, however we want to do it. But I think we need to add that in somewhere now because that
Okay.
needs to be an ongoing.
Yeah,
So that if you get a good price offered to you, you want to jump on it
Yeah.
right away, is
Right.
what he's saying.
Yeah.
And so you don't, he can't, it's hard for him to
We
wait
need
for
to know
council
exactly
meetings.
what we need to get out of it. too. We
Yes.
can't lose.
Yep.
We don't want to
Nope,
lose.
I
so
agree.
I'd say what we have into it.
And I can figure that out.
And I think Public Works would work for that committee because the city engineers on that.
Yep.
Public Work, I think that's an appropriate spot. At least try it. And if it turns out it's too much, for that commit, we start a different one.
Or if that committee doesn't feel like they want to do it,
Yeah.
then
Yep.
I think we can have that discussion at your next meeting.
I think so too.
Okay.
I'm good with that. You don't need a motion for that.
No,
Then-
I'll just let him know that we want
Is
further information.
Everyone okay with that approach?
I am, yep.
Perfect. All right, we'll go to city council reports. Councilmember Melender, anything to report on?
Nothing to report.
Councilmember Wagner,
Nothing.
Councilmember Halt.
Oh, we had the EDA and we pretty much talked about it in the
Yeah.
council meeting.
Same.
Nothing more. Luann, do you want to give a quick update on the administrator,
I can?
real quick? Yeah.
Yeah, I can real quick. Mr. Mayor, council members, the city offered the position to Nicholas Johnson, and he has accepted the offer. He is not available to start until October.
October 3rd, correct?
I think so. I
That
think
would
it's the
work.
3rd.
That's the
Yep,
date we're
October
shooting
3rd.
For right now, yeah.
Right, yep. He did take a salary of $97,000 that was offered to him. He agreed to that. He doesn't want the city cell phone. He said he's got his own, but he's gonna have to like, in the email that Pat sent me, that he has to realize that if there's a data practices request, his private cell phone gets taken into, yeah. So he may choose not to do that. I don't know. He'll have to decide, but he's asked for some budget documents so far. I'm gonna reach out to him and just see if him and I can meet just to talk about some things, so he can kind of know what's going on. But I will be coming forward then with my contract again to extend the contract through October, because I think it expires the first week of September. The only issue that I'm gonna have is thinking I was gonna be done September 1st. I planned a vacation for September 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th, which is a Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. It's a council meeting and a park board meeting. So hopefully we can get the budget stuff wrapped up, and we can do that at the second meeting in September, because it'll have to be certified to the county by the end. That would be my only thing that I would be concerned about, or maybe we'll have to do a special on the 20th just to do the budget. I mean, let me see where we're at. I'm hoping to do a work session with you after the 8th meeting to go over the budget. I've got everything in there now. I got it to work. They went into the computer and did something Banyan did today. So I'm able to enter the numbers now like I
I
could.
think we should be able to accommodate any of that
Yeah.
and work through it. Park board possibly by October might not even need the meeting
September.
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 Might not need it now that we're moving forward with the park shelter, then
Well, they're
unless you
doing,
have some things that need to wrap up,
Yeah.
or we can move that.
right, they're doing Oktoberfest.
Okay,
Or Kyle can do it. Kyle could do it too.
we'll figure
Figure
that
it
out.
out.
I
Or maybe
think.
your new administrator could come and
But-
do them. Maybe
Yeah,
he would be available.
perhaps. But yeah, I think we can figure something out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
And so, yeah, that'll be coming before too long for an extension and
The city attorney has the contract. He forwarded me a draft contract today with stuff to fill in, and I sent him back the information that he needed to fill in with the name and the amount and all the start date and everything. So that will be coming to you. I think it's got to go to Nick first to sign, and then comes back to you. I don't know which way it is, but I'll have to figure that out and get it figured out for you. So
So that'll be on the next council.
could be. Yep, possibly. Yep.
But otherwise, he's accepted.
Yep.
So it's just the,
Formality.
Formalities. Yeah. And yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
he accepted that night. He was still in town. Pat reached out to him.
Yep.
All right, and I have nothing more to report on. So with that, I'll look for motion to adjourn.
A motion.
Second.
We have motion second, all in favor, say aye.
I
Opposed, same sign.
Oh,
We are adjourned.
I forgot to, sorry.
That doesn't sound like our music in the park.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm so excited for this park shelter.
Mhm. Yes, park board.
Quite numerous on the way upstairs for the approval of it.
Exactly, it's fitting, right? That's what happened. They bring Ryan in. I mean, it's fitting to bring it to fruition.
Yes.
Fruition party.
Tomorrow?